Hello friends, this is Meenakshi. Welcome to yet another episode of Soccer Stories. Today let's go through the interesting events that took place in the 2018 World Cup. Russia's annexation of Crimea, its poor human rights record and allegations of bribery proved to be a major headache for FIFA in the run-up to the 21st World Cup in 2018. The Russians had been awarded the event in 2010 as they successfully outbid the joint bids of Spain and Portugal and the Netherlands and Belgium after England, the other country in the fray, was eliminated after the first round of voting. The chorus against the host was led by the English, but FIFA, clearing the country of any wrongdoing, finally set the stage for the first East European Odyssey of its signature event. It was for the 11th time that Europe had been given the rights to the global event. There were two countries which made their debut behind the once Iron Curtain, Iceland and Panama, while the tournament missed out both Italy and the Netherlands, thereby throwing the quest for the World Cup wide open. There was another shock as well when reigning champion Germany got knocked out first round, the four-time winner finishing last in its group. This and the other surprises that the 64-match sequence saw through its journey finally ended in France, winning the World Cup for a second time at the expense of Croatia rather comfortably. The French triumph also was instrumental in Didier Deschamps joining the select band of Brazilian Mario Zagallo and German Franz Beckenbauer, who, like the French manager, had earlier won the World Cup both as a player and coach. Keeping in tune with its commitment to blend technology with the game, 2018 witnessed the introduction of the video assistant referees by FIFA for the first time in the World Cup. The new arrangement, which became known as VAR, had a significant impact in several matches of the World Cup, the notable instance being the goal by Diego Costa for Spain against Portugal. It was also the first goal allowed on the basis of the newly introduced system. Among players of the various teams in the fray, England's Harry Kane and Croatian Luka Modric came up with some outstanding displays which in the end helped them earn the Golden Boot and Golden Ball. In group play, three teams did create a lasting impression by winning all their three matches prior to getting into the knockout rounds. This included Uruguay, Croatia and Belgium, all with well-knit teams and coming up with trumps from Group A, D and F, while the rest had to put their best foot forward before moving up from the remaining 5 pools. But there were not a lot goals from Uruguay as it topped Group A, leaving it late against Egypt, become coming through and then only a solitary goal win over Saudi Arabia. Having got through the initial blues, the South Americans were simply brilliant against host Russia, cruising through to a resounding 3-0 win. Russia, despite the loss against Uruguay, still managed to qualify from the group, handing down a 5-1 thrashing on Saudi Arabia and later getting again into its stride before overpowering Egypt 3-1. Euro 2016 winner Portugal found itself pooled together in Group B alongside Spain, Iran and Morocco. Herein, the last gasp free kick goal by team icon Cristiano Ronaldo for the Portuguese was one of the finest moments of 2018 as that exemplary effort was to help Portugal manage a 3-3 draw in the needle match against Spain. Iran also managed to deny Portugal full points, being involved in a 1-1 draw. This helped quite a bit for Spain to top the group ahead of Portugal. France qualified from Group C as the winner, even though Australia did provide the French with some anxious moments. Alas, it was an on goal by Aziz Behich that ended the Aussie resistance prior to losing the match narrowly at 2-1. The French thereafter put aside Peru and then in the marquee match against Denmark came out with a goalless draw. In Group D, Argentina struggled against the defensive tactics of newcomer Iceland. After scoring the equalizer in the 23rd minute, the Icelanders adopted parking the bus tactics to frustrate the South Americans. The South Americans was in for a great deal of surprise as Croatia punished some ordinary defending by the Argentinians and effortlessly winning the tie by a 3-0 margin. Argentina faced the prospect of elimination and needed a win against Nigeria. They managed a 2-1 win to qualify. Croatia, on the other hand, served notice to bigger teams with its all-win record in the group. In Group E, Brazil didn't get the best of the starts in the tournament as they were held to a 1-1 draw by Switzerland. It needed 2 injury time goals for the 5-time champions to stop Costa Rica. However, the 2-0 win over Serbia enabled the Brazilians to top the group. The Swiss also made it into the knockout round. Defending champion Germany's shock exit was the talking point of Group F. The Germans started on a wrong note, losing to Mexico by a solitary goal. A Toni Kroos goal in stoppage time gave them a comeback 2-1 win over Sweden. Mexico ensured qualification with its second straight win, thus putting pressure on Germany. This left the champion in a must-win situation, and though it normally should have been an easy run against the South Koreans, the Asian side had other ideas. The nimble-footed Koreans proved to be a tough proposition and they chalked the Germans with their defensive tactics. And as Germans pressed hard for the elusive goal, the Koreans took advantage of the gaps in the rival defense and scored twice in the stoppage time, marking a great upset. It was for the first time since 1938 that the Germans failed to get beyond the first round. Sweden thrashed an off-color Mexico 3-0 to top the group. Mexico, despite the defeat, also made it to the knockouts. Belgium, with the majority of its play based in England, topped Group G with an all-win record. World Cup debutant Panama was no match for Belgium and England, the bigwigs in the group. But Tunisia gave a good account of itself, even though it lost to England by a late goal prior to putting aside the challenge from Panama. The English started off with a rousing 6-1 win over Panama. However, Belgium's solitary goal win against them got the former their place at the top. Colombia and Japan qualified from Group H in that order. The disappointment herein was Poland, the highest ranked team which lost both its opening matches and were knocked out. The last set of league matches provided the twist with Colombia edging out Senegal by a solitary goal to top the group. The result turned out to be favourable for Japan, which despite a 0-1 defeat to Poland qualified. The Asians sneaked ahead of the Africans on goal difference. The Argentina-France encounter was the most high-profile clash in the knockout. The match between the two former world champions was a 7-goal thriller which France won 4-3. Kylian Mbappe's exceptional speed was what hurt the Argentinians the most. The French teenager left an indelible mark in the match with 2 goals and won the penalty that led to the opening goal. The Argentinians were in the game briefly when they led 2-1. But a stunning long-ranger by Pavard and Mbappe's brace in the space of 4 minutes shut out the South Americans. Belgium scored a thrilling 3-2 comeback win against Japan. The Japanese led by 2 goals at the start of the second half. However, Belgians fought back and equalized the score before Nacer Chadli found the space and the back of the net in the stoppage time for the winner. Edison Cavani's brace for Uruguay saw off Portugal, while Brazil marched into quarterfinals with a 2-0 win over Mexico. Host Russia entered the quarterfinals for the first time after overcoming Spain in the tiebreaker. Croatia beat Denmark via the tiebreaker, while England enjoyed a rare success in the shootout wherein defeated Colombia to enter the quarterfinals for the first since 1990. The lone remaining round of 16 match saw Sweden get the better of Switzerland by a solitary goal and advance. France had the momentum in its favour after its win against Argentina. They just overwhelmed Uruguay 2-0 to enter the semi-finals, while Belgium gave further credence to their rising stature in world football, overpowering Brazil 2-1. An own goal by Fernandinho was what pushed the Brazilians on the back foot. Kevin De Bruyne doubled the lead in the 31st minute. Though Renato Augusto headed in for Brazil, Belgium was successful in surviving some tense moments before pulling off a major upset win. Hosts Russia's dream run ended in the quarterfinals, losing to Croatia in the tiebreaker. Mario Fernandes snatched an equalizer 5 minutes from time to force the match into penalties. But for the second time in this tournament, Croatia came out trumps in the shootout. England continued its good form to enter the semi-finals for only the third time. In the quarterfinals, they just shut out Sweden 2-0 with Harry Maguire heading in Ashley Young corner in the 30th minute and Dele Alli doubling it up in the 59th. With both Uruguay and Brazil being eliminated, it was an all-European semi-final lineup for the fifth time in the history of the World Cup. France got past Belgium by a solitary goal. The Belgians were sharp initially, with Eden Hazard missing the target narrowly. French keeper Hugo Lloris turned away a pile driver from Toby Alderweireld towards the end of the first half. However, in the second half, Samuel Umtiti headed in an Antoine Griezmann cross for the match winner. Croatia entered the final for the first time, putting it across England by 2-1 in extra time. England started strongly with Kieran Trippier putting his side ahead by scoring off a free kick in the 5th minute. Harry Kane hit the post as England led by a goal at half-time. However, Ivan Perisic's flying left-footed finish stunned the English as Croatia drew level in the 69th minute. In the extra time, Versachko made a goal line save to deny John Stones before Mario Mandzukic lashed on to a Perisic pass for a left-footed winning goal in the 109th minute. In the final, Croatia's Mario Mandzukic turned out to be the villain of the piece. He became the first player to score an own goal in the World Cup final. Mandzukic's gaffe saw Croatia trail by a goal in the 18th minute. However, Ivan Perisic equalized for Croatia in the 28th minute. The war was called into play to deliberate whether Ivan Perisic had handled the ball. The penalty was awarded by referee Nestor Pitana, which some said was wrong interpretation of the rules. Antoine Griezmann converted it to give France a 2-1 lead at half-time. Paul Pogba further increased the lead in the 59th minute, putting away the rebound after his first shot was saved by Croatian keeper Subasic. Mbappe capped a fine World Cup by scoring the 4th goal. In the process, he became the second teenager to score in a World Cup final after the Brazilian great Pelé. Mandzukic did make by scoring the second goal for Croatia, but this was not sufficient to stop the French from winning with ease. Stay tuned to Striking Seconds for more soccer stories, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Hasta la vista.